What is up, guys? It's me, Gary Car Guy, and today I am doing this video for me. I have the brand new 2024 Nissan Z Performance with the manual transmission. And before I get any deeper in the video, I am extremely biased and I love this thing. So let me tell you why. The history of the Z goes way back. The first official Z was the 240 and it was released way back. Actually, October 1969, and since the start, the Z would go on to threaten the status quo of various sports cars around the world, on the road and on the track. Plus, my aunt even had one. Now, I never knew the year, but I do remember the body style. It was the Z31, which makes it somewhere between 83 and 89. And that's another thing that I love about this new Z. It's an homage to every other Z that has existed before. And as a child, with my aunt's Z, I thought the car was super cool. It was a manual, it had T-tops, and those three little gauges like every other Z. Plus, it was fast. Now, with the exception of the T-tops, this Z has everything you would expect of a Z car, plus a V6 with twin turbos that cranks out 400 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque, which, by the way, the torque is available as low as 1600 RPM. So if you're going low and slow and need to get back up to speed, you can do it in a jiffy. Now, as much as I liked my aunt's car, it was nice, but it was never really sexy. At least not to me, and I think that Nissan knew that too, so as soon as the 80s came to an end, Nissan released the first car that I would personally fall in love with, the 300ZX that was internally referred to as the Z32. That thing was fast, low, and finally sexy. So sexy, in fact, that when Lamborghini needed an eye transplant for their Diablo supercar, they rang up Nissan to borrow the headlights of the Z32. Seriously, if you find a Lamborghini Diablo with fixed headlights, the headlights are going to have a carbon fiber trim piece at the top of the assembly. And the only purpose of that trim piece is to hide the fact that this Lamborghini headlight was secretly made by Nissan. Now, in real life, I was never able to drive a manual twin-turbo Z32, but in my virtual reality life, I definitely did. Every single weekend that my friends would go to the arcade, I would join them, and I took all the lunch money that I was supposed to use on food and shove it into the Wangan Midnight video game. Now, all my friends had the RX-7s and the Skylines, which were quick, but I loaded up my Z32, and I was just as fast. And happily enough, the taillights of my beloved Z32 300ZX live on in this new 2024 Nissan Z. Now, if you take out emotions and memory from the equation, the Z can still be super practical in a lot of different respects. If we're talking fuel economy, it can still give you a city highway average of 20 miles per gallon, which is 1 mile per gallon better than my twin turbo on the Genesis G70. Now, if you're talking about the space, it is only a 2-seater, but if you need to do grocery runs or set up a tea time, you have plenty of cargo space here in the rear. And something else, I want to give big props to Nissan. They didn't just come out with the Z and say you will only ever have a 9-speed automatic transmission. They actually came out with a 6-speed manual as well, which happens to be in this very car you see before you. And with that 6-speed manual, if you decide to get the performance version of the Z, it also does come with the rev matching technology. If you're downshifting, the engine will automatically blip the throttle so you can engage that gear as smoothly as possible, so the body stays as neutral as possible when entering a corner. Now, whether it's manual or automatic, the transmission does a great job in transmitting the power from the engine to the rear, and it does that through the use of a drive shaft. And something special on the Z's is that it has a carbon fiber composite drive shaft to not only save weight, but also rotational mass in order to transfer even more power to the rear end than what it would otherwise get. Diving on the inside, one of the centerpieces of the entire car is this beautiful 9-inch touchscreens that you'll find in the performance version of the Z's, and it is the technological hub of the entire car. Not only will you be able to activate the Wi-Fi, but you also have navigation built into this version of the car. And if you're wondering, yes, this version of the Nissan Z does have wireless Apple CarPlay integration. And as if to put the cherry on top, one of my favorite things are the speaker systems, because this one also does bring the 8-speaker Bose premium audio system that does have sound enhancement technology, and my favorite, noise cancellation. And the technology doesn't even stop there. If you look behind the steering wheel, you're going to see an absolutely massive and modern 12.3-inch instrument cluster, which is going to display a lot of information that you will probably care about as a performance car driver. At the top, you're going to see a shift light so you know exactly when to hit the shift. Another thing you'll see is tire pressure. boost pressure, and even G meter if you want to track your on-track performance. And if you're interested in tracking your development as a driver, Nissan even sells a dash cam, so that way you could watch the outside and inside video of the car you're driving while you drive it. Now, just like my grandmother used to say, pórtate bien, which means don't have proof of any illegal activity on video. Just kidding, pórtate bien means behave, which kind of means the same thing. By the way, guys, I am a real salesperson here in Orlando, and I really do need to sell cars, and I would love to help you buy one of these yourself. So if you are looking for an Orlando hookup, all you got to do is click the link below that says schedule with Miguel, make an appointment, and come on in. Once you're physically here, I'm going to give you an extra $500 of video bonus cash just for making an appointment with me and watching my video. So now that you know that, don't forget to click the link below. So let's get back to the Z. Now, if performance on this car isn't enough for you, you can always go with the NISMO version of the Z, which is the top dog of the entire range. Not only are you going to have different exterior pieces on the car, but an extra 20 horsepower and an extra 30 foot-pounds of torque. Along with the powertrain getting a boost in power, you're also going to have the body stiffened with extra reinforcements, so that way it can be able to cope with a more hardcore driving style. Now, those reinforcement points will help the body of the car corner a little bit better, but what about the body of the driver? Well, if you look inside, you're going to see another NISMO exclusive. It is the Recaro seats that will hold the bodies of the occupants firmly in place. That way they don't feel like a bag of shaken jello after hitting a few corners. Now, maybe this next stuff is little human nature, but I do know two things. Love will make you do crazy things, and hate will make people talk. And every time you mention a Z, somebody always say, oh, I'd rather get a Supra. The Supra's faster, the Supra's a better car. You know what? The Supra is an amazing car. I agree with you. But if you're just gonna be a spreadsheet warrior, you're going to lose, because there's always a bigger fish. Go and buy a brand new Supra, you're gonna get your doors blown off by a Corvette. Go and buy a brand new Corvette, somebody with a Z06 is gonna blow your doors off. Then you go buy a new Z06, somebody with a 12-year-old GTR will spank you on the street. At what point do you say, screw the spreadsheets? I'm gonna get something that I enjoy because it looks good, it makes me feel good. Because at the end of the day, what else is it about? And so, guys, those were some of the coolest things that I personally love about the new Z. And no, I didn't talk about every single little detail of the car because it would take way too long and I'm too fun for that. But if you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to hit the little bell notification so that way you can get the newest video the second that I upload it. But until next time, I'm the Garrett Car Guy, and I'll see you soon.